Welcome to the Freddie Kissoon Show. Bring it! Welcome to the Freddie Kissoon Show. Bring it!
Let me ask you this question. I would like to ask the AG to propose legislation for what we call small claims court. There are lots of poor people, to an example you just gave, that they have issues with others and sometimes with large firms, but the lawyer fee is greater than the fee you're claiming.
It is their right.
Yes.
The right that someone has. All of our rights exist in context.
What is the context of a second medical opinion?
Because you're disrespecting the process.
No.
Jesus, this is common sense, man.
Any situation which you seem to do, you're just dealing with Afro-Guyanese issues. If one, you can't bring and pull the leaders of the African community together, you're failing. And if two, you can't put forward a future, a blueprint, and a plan for African Guyanese, you're failing as well.
Hi there. Pleasant Monday evening to you. For most people, the week starts on Monday, but actually the week starts on Sunday. But this is the beginning of the week, and there's so much to say about Guyana and its recently concluded elections. Leonard Craig is not here. Well, Craig is always late, man, so I don't know if he's coming. But if not, I'll hold the fort. So I'll ask the operator to put my number on the screen. Operator, could you put my number on the screen? 614-5927. So call me. Craig is supposed to be here, but I don't think he'll object when I say he is always late. Just always late. So I guess that's Craig. So I will hold the fort tonight. I don't know if he's coming. He didn't indicate to me that he won't be here. So that's my number, 614-5927. Please call it and let's talk about so many things going on connected to the elections and post-election scenario. You know, there is something I have always said, and hundreds of thousands of Guyanese have probably said it sometimes in their lives, that this is a country that some of the things you don't find elsewhere and you cannot find elsewhere in the world. One would have thought that by now, Aubrey Norton would have resigned. There is no party in the world that has suffered such humiliation, such devastation, and that leader asserts himself, say he's staying on, and say he's going to mold a new party. Who or what can he mold? The man has suffered a historic defeat that has no parallel in the English-speaking Caribbean, and perhaps the world. It is not a party that 10 years ago came into being and then it suffered such a tragedy. It's since 1957 the PNC was born. Craig is here. So that's the number you can call now. Now, I would like to emphasize for you what has happened to Aubrey Norton. When Norton reminded his party what Forbes Burnham said, when Forbes Burnham lost the 1961 election, he said to his followers at Bowling Green, "Won't you stay with me for another hour? So when Norton lost the election, he said that. But Bonham lost an election by 4,000 votes to a historic man, Chetty Jagan, and lost by 1.5%. Norton lost 16 seats from 31, and from 48% was reduced to 18%, and beaten by a man that knows nothing about politics, and beaten in his own hometown of Pleasance. And you would think that that man would gracefully bow out, and he had the temerity to select 12 parliamentarians. So we're asking you tonight to call in, and let's hear what you have to say about those 12 parliamentarians. I know there's something with the Bible called 12 horsemen of the apocalypse. I don't know what that is about, so Craig could tell me what that is about. Craig is a devout Seventh-day Adventist, so he even know the Bible. But look at the 12 persons. Leading the PNC in Parliament is a man who has no experience in Parliament. Not only Parliament, but in politics anywhere in Guyana. Now, you could know about politics, you could have experience in politics, but not be in Parliament.
Like
for example, you could be like, you could be the party's, custodian, you could have the party liaison with the business community, and you hold that position for 10 years. You could be the general secretary and not be in Parliament. But because you're 10 years in the party's leadership, you have liaison with the business community, the liaison with other parliamentarians who have to call the party and interface with your parliamentarians. So at least you have little experience about what goes on in Parliament as General Secretary. David Hines is not in Parliament, but he has experience in politics. Terence Campbell has no experience. Prior to the election, probably didn't have a party card.
Yeah.
And is leading the PNC in Parliament. So what has happened? You've had a spate of resignations. The chairman, who is deputy leader of the PNC, resigned today. Resigned Monday morning. One of the long-standing Amarindan faces in Parliament for the PNC, Marvin Williams, has resigned. Wayne Mason, that I've known for years personally, has accused Norton of favoritism and has resigned. So why Terence Campbell? This is my explanation, and I have to put it in very sound grammatical legal terms. So I avoid Mr. Campbell wanting to make himself large and sue me. Ravi Dev on this program said he thinks Mr. Campbell is a billionaire. So I think Mr. Campbell has been generous to the PNC over the election period, over the past year. And I would think that generosity has been rewarded. That's my explanation for Terence Campbell, because Ravi Dev doesn't fly his mouth widely. Ravi Dev said he thinks he's a billionaire. I could only think about the financial assistance as an explanation for Campbell being there. When you think of who the PNC has, when you think its chairman wasn't selected to go to Parliament, his general secretary, who's a lawyer, wasn't selected to go to Parliament, Marvin Williams, Wayne Mason, and a whole set of them with experience and young too. Well, you choose Terence Campbell. Now that's one. Before Craig come in, Giretta Finance is a political failure and should not be in Parliament. Giretta Finance left the AFC a couple of weeks, went into the PNC, was assigned to Bartica, Region 7, and Azruddin Mohammed got more votes in Bartica and 7 than Giretta Finance. When that happened, Finance should have tendered a resignation. Oh my goodness, man, what is going on in Guyana cannot be seen elsewhere in the world. This lady was not beaten by some top Amerindian in the PPP, not beaten by some highfalutin lawyer, some top university professor. Azwaddin Mohammed beat Jaretta Finance in Region 7, and Region 7 Regional Democratic Council will now be run by Azwaddin Mohammed. And all those PNC stalwarts were overlooked for a political failure. Sherwood Duncan, the bellman. Sherwood Duncan been ringing his bell for the AFC all the weeks before he joined the PNC, and you can leave Christopher Jones, Wayne Mason for Sherwood Duncan. You know who's Wayne Mason? I know who's Wayne Mason. Wayne Mason is also a street politician. He's a little Norton. And Wayne Mason has always shown me respect. For all the years I've been in politics, I've not with the PNC. You know what Wayne Mason said to me? You know, I like you. I wish you would come over to the PNC. Freddie, you gotta come over. I know Wayne Mason. You can't overlook the contribution of Wayne Mason to the PNC and put Sherwood Duncan. That cannot be justified. Christopher Jones was the chief whip. You know, I knew Chris. And I said to Chris when he became a parliamentarian, I said, there is no respect for you if you don't go and educate yourself. And he said, Freddie, I intend to do that. You know, Chris Jones has a master's now. You can't overlook those people. Norton has no moral authority to select 12 persons because he was the cause of the PNC's defeat. So he has to call the chairman, the general secretary, and the group of people and say, what are we going to do with this 12 parliamentarians? He has no moral authority to select 12 parliamentarians, and so this party may not survive 2025 by December. Now finally, David Hines, you do not elevate such a person, because even the constituency that David Hines preached to the past 5 years turned their backs on him. Check the SOPs, die-hard PNC supporters, quintessential African Guyanese people in Denhamstel, in Plaisance, did not vote for the message of David Hines. How you going to overlook Christopher Jones, Wayne Mason, Sherwin Benjamin? How you going to overlook those people for David Hines? He doesn't live in Guyana. I think the phone line is 676-3681.
Yeah, just continuing from what you said. Again, if people listen to this program, I think they will glean a lot of political strategy, political lessons. My column only today predicted that you're going to have two things. People are going to resign from the PNC, and secondly, many of their active soldiers are going to go, the term I use is AWOL, or just plain inactive. They're not going to show up for assignments. They're just going to pull themselves out quietly. They're not going to resign, but you're not going to see them in the public space. Because of, and I thought that Aubrey would have learned. I didn't say anything earlier about the list because I thought the list was a consensus list. But having learned
what your chairman said, it looked like he didn't have a say.
Exactly. Having learned recently that it was a one-man show, then you have to comment on it. Because if it was a consensus, then you say, okay, that's the party's decision. But learning that it's a one-man show, you got to comment on it. And as you said, I don't think Aubrey at this point have the moral authority to, on his own, select people. And as I wrote in my column today, I said Norton should have kept nothing wrong with people who just came on and all of that. But Norton should have kept that number to no more than 2. But I think he got something like about 6 or 7. Ganesh Maipal should have been the proper leader of the PNC in the House. Christopher Jones should have been there. In my opinion,
you know what Annette Ferguson is? Just
and possibly Annette Ferguson and so on. And
he just gutted the PNC.
Sharma Solomon is a good find, by the way, in my opinion.
But he has a long experience in politics.
But putting all of these people, Todd, all of these people who barely engage with the PNC 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks before
only
nomination day.
It's the Adriana Young thing that brought Todd into the PNC world. But it was going on since April, and he met since March, and he met them, and he started to interface with them.
Right, and the question is, for example, Roysdale Ford has more of a temperamental type, negotiative type personality. And what can Todd contribute that he cannot contribute? And that kind of thing, that was the kind of discussion.
Well, I said in my column today, I know Rogsdale Ford a very long time. Rogsdale Ford is a far better lawyer than Todd, is a far better politician than Todd, is a far better multiracial person than Todd. I know Rogsdale Ford. I know nobody can tell me about Wayne Mason or Rogsdale Ford and these people. I know Sherwin Benjamin, the General Secretary of the PNC, long before he ever entered politics. Those are people that are committed and have qualities that I think the PNC need. Rogsdale Ford is a decent man. And I could tell you about him.
And to go back to what Aubrey and I wrote, and I said it on this program.
Kick out that man tomorrow.
What I wrote and I said on this program, that the reason why Sherrod Duncan, Joretta Finance, and Ricky Ramsarup ran over to the ATNU because they're lazy. Not because they feel anything, Freddie. They are lazy. They saw that the AFC was tending downwards, and instead of batten down and work hard, they jump ship because they expected. Hi, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Your volume.
Hello?
Yeah, turn on the volume of your TV.
Yes, am I on to different?
Yes, go right ahead.
By the same metric that you're using to discredit this fellow that David Hines, who didn't get politicians didn't approve of him. It's the same thing Sharma Solomon usually can. They were blasted out of the water, so I can't see how Sharma Solomon could be justified. You could justify the presence of Sharma Solomon on the list. Thank you.
Hello, you still there?
Yes.
I think you have a point there. WIN picked up a lot of votes in. No, WIN won Region 10.
Yeah, WIN won Region 10. But you see, the thing is, I don't think it's the same with Sharma Solomon. Sharma Solomon was not given the similar prominence as David Hines. Let me say this, and I'm going to say this. He didn't give me permission, but I'm going to say it. Mark Gorin is from used to be with the AFC, right? And so I know him personally, and I would dare call him a friend. right? I hope he don't sue me because people suing people for calling them friend. But I will dare call Mark Gorin a friend. And I called Mark Gorin and I said,
Mark Gorin, all right.
Yeah, we are right.
That's what caused the libel thing.
Right. So, and I called Mark and he didn't give me permission, but I'm going to say it because, it's an open conversation. And I say, Mark, you see, as politicians, you think, you say, Mark, y'all torn upside down the thing. Before we waste this guy's credit, you got anything else to add, sir?
He lost the region terribly. His manner towards the president in the ensuing period, the negativity he portrays, is part and responsible for the loss of the region. So I can't see no justification in him.
I hear you.
Rewarding just seat.
All right, good. Yeah, thanks for coming through.
Okay.
Yeah, and Gorin said to me, I was given space and room to work, and I was given allowed my own creativity in my own neighborhood that I know, and I think that is what was responsible for winning Region 10. Mark Gorin told me that in almost those words. The point I'm making about Sharma Solomon, I don't think Sharma Solomon was given a similar blank check or a similar leeway to run Region 10 and run a Region 10 campaign. I don't even think he was the campaign manager and all of that. He was just a person featured, and I think he was rewarded for his history of hard work, which is also a valid reason for thing, because whenever Sharma Solomon ran, he won. He ran the last local government, and he is the mayor and all of that.
Well, look, look, there is an aspect of the analysis that has to be said. Marvin Williams didn't say why he resigned. You got to do logical deduction. Sherwin Holder, the chairman, it's only Mason that came out to me, say he's selecting his family, his relative, he's selecting his friends. You have to understand, Sharma Solomon descended to the level of sycophancy, and that pleased not when he refused to sign,
shake the president's hand,
because a famous Londoner shook the president's hands and was victimized. Sharma Solomon said, listen, I can play the game. And I think he looked stupid, and he was stupid for a guy who was a practicing Muslim not to shake his fellow Muslim hand. So I think his sycophancy was rewarded.
And the truth is, and we have said on this program, that type of behavior, political behavior, is what was exactly rejected by the voters. Right? So the gentleman have a point, but I am just adding additional dimension. And he has a point.
I look at that 12, and it's only Ganesh Mahipal probably is justified. Because even
Nima flew best. Nima flew best.
Right, and she has experience, and she had to be put there because of you gotta get region. Region.
Not only that, I think she's close to Norton. She has worked hard.
So the man, Wayne Mason, may be right. He just selected 12 persons that he said is it's clear from Sherwin Holder's statement. It's clear from Wayne Mason's statement. And you could read Marvin Williams' thing into it. This was not a get-together in a party war room. And people saying, now Prasad, you're going to put Prasad in front of Singh? Let me compare the two. And so you're going down, it's still, it reached 1 o'clock. You send for some food, and that is the way you select. And I'm telling you, the PPP did that, and the AFC did that. The AFC went in the room and looking at people that take up
to an extent, to a general extent, right.
Probably give the people.
So I was on the Sherrod Duncan and thing when the last person called. I am saying to you, they are politically lazy. Now, what Sherrod Duncan does, which again the voters rejected, he has a small captive audience, and all he goes up there, he no deep analysis, no, you know, the
actually
thing,
and all, see what happened.
and them jagabats and trench crapo, and people get turned off by that after a time. You gotta come with sound analysis. You've got to, you know, educate people and things like that. And people don't want their politicians to be out and out comedians. Yeah, you could make a couple of jokes here and there, but when you become out and out comedian, you and I don't know if it is his comedic act that he was chosen for. Good evening.
So, Stud.
Hi. Hello, good evening.
Hi.
I have one question concerning Dr. David Hines being on that list. Is he a dual citizen or not?
I doubt that he is. He may probably, you know, when you're a university professor in the US, you get a special kind of visa for something on the talent or something like that, which is almost equivalent to green card. But I do not know. I'm just telling you what obtained. I do not know what is David Hines' status. And I don't think that he would go that far to accept nomination to parliament and he is dual citizen. But I think he is working in the US under some other visa arrangement.
And the other question is, when he goes into parliament, would he query who cooks the food or not? Thank you.
I'm not getting into that aspect of it, but I hear you and I know where she's going.
It's black pudding she's talking about.
Yeah. I know where she's going.
Black pudding, man. But we have to inform our viewers, if in case you just join us, we need to repeat it. The leader of ANUG, Dr. Mark France, told me, and he'll be on the program, that when candidates were selected and he was not consulted.
Yeah, I wanted to come to that.
He's not on the list. When merged with ANUG, and you think after Azzuddin Mohammed, the leader, the prime ministerial candidate, which is Sarah Buhari, and the lady Primus, those are the three WIN people. You would think the fourth and perhaps even the third would be Dr. Mark France. He's the first party that merged with WIN. And the man was not selected. They didn't even tell him. And then he told me when he asked about the regional list, they said that done already, that done settled. WIN and ANUG have a legal agreement in which whatever how much parliamentary seats are won, 2 will go to ANUG. Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in court. Remember, ANUG got caught without a legal paper with Freddie Kissoon. And so France didn't take that chance. France said there is a document binding WIN. But before Craig come in, you see these horrible, horrendous
people
that criticize the government.
Yeah.
These are These are the people.
Yeah.
This is the man that wanted to be the president of Guyana.
Yeah.
And if you talk too much in the studio, he may be waiting for us outside.
He didn't even go in parliament yet, and he's breaking his agreement with
It's the PNC, the party you could support, what Norton did to his own people.
Yeah.
You imagine.
Good evening, caller. You're on the program.
Good evening. First of all, when I look at the APNU voters list, parliamentarians, a lot of the people up there, I'm certain a lot of APNU supporters didn't vote for.
Yeah.
And if anybody should have been the head of that list, it should have been Mike Paul.
Yeah.
Mr. Campbell, hey, don't worry. Secondly, ANOG can't sue WIN for nothing because WIN is not a part of ANOG. It did dissolve into WIN. ANOG get dissolved into WIN. So no contribution, no agreement, politician, and nothing. No, as Freddie said just now, as long as you get dissolved into another company anywhere in the world, you come under that company.
I guess you may have a point there, so I guess you may have a point there.
Yeah,
it means Mark France should have taken his general secretary is a lawyer.
Yeah, and they should have not, if you're merging with anybody, your name's supposed to be there. All we heard about since nomination day was WIN. We never heard nothing about ANOG. And finally, I am surprised with the whole entire parliamentary list, even the PPP list, because I have my concerns. I have concerns of things to come, and I will comment on it.
The list, PPP list is complete yet.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the majority, and what's his name said he's going to work with APNO, and that could only be for one thing, because APNO can't, is the yeas will have it and the nays will not have it. The only way we will need APNO is if we want to do constitutional reform, and that is something that I have to wait and see. But Mr. Norton blundered there, and it was a sad blunder. I listened to your comment after that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so for me, right, and again, I'm saying to the viewers, I did not comment on that list because I swear I thought that Aubrey would have learned his lesson. He would have called in his people and he would have said, let's knock heads together.
I think that man cannot be incapable.
He could have presented a list of 16 or something and say, look, he could say, hey, I'm the leader of the list and I could have chosen my 12 by giving you this big list of 16. First of all, having spoken to each person directly to say, here, look, there's only 12 lists. Don't be disappointed. 12 on the list. Don't be disappointed if you're not. This is how I see a future. That discussion. Have that discussion, then present your list of 16, and then let us work through it and use my own persuasion as a leader to get you to agree with me.
Craig,
and I thought that is what happened. So I didn't comment because I said, is this group and they agree on it and let's move on. And when I learned that wasn't the case, I mean, it's just sad. It's just sad.
But the man has a hold on his party that has not been replicated since early British Guyana right down now. In the PPP, there were serious challenges to Jagon at meetings. I remember Kembaj Ramjatan was one who used to challenge Jenny Jagon. I know the YSM at one time was challenging Burnham, and Burnham said, well, all right, y'all want to go this way, and then the PPP can be the next government. Desmond Hoyt was literally, weakened by guerrilla warfare. Aubrey Norton, James McAllister, harassed Corbyn, and nobody seemed to tell Norton, get out the place, we're fighting you. The deputy leader of the PNC, I resign, I don't want to say anything. Marvin Williams, Central Committee member, I resign, something happened, I don't want to talk about it. It's only Wayne Mason now, if you know Mason.
Yeah.
Mason,
he is.
Mason don't hold back. It's only Wayne Mason said, well, look, the man put in the relatives. The thing is, you would think they would have called each other. Let me tell you this. Very, very, I don't want to call them stupid, because I mean in all the field. You know what they should have done? They should have get on the telephone and say, could we meet at Oasis? Could we meet at Giffland? It's important. Marvin, Sherwin, Wayne, I want to talk to y'all. It's about 10 y'all. Let me meet at Oasis. You know where the movement to oust Corbyn took place? At Oasis. You should see Peter Ramsaroop, Vincent Alexander, and that was Team Alexander. You know, you would thought they would have called each other and said, listen, let's look what's going on here, man. Let's try something. What I'm suggesting that they do, Marvin Williams, is try to have a meeting with Granger. Try to have a meeting with Granger and ask Granger if he could bring along Basil Williams and the Cole. And try to
I don't think Granger and Basil Cuckoo by
right. Well, and try to oust Norton. It's not only the man lost the election in a terrible way.
Somebody's on. Hi, good evening. You're onto the program.
Hi, a very good evening to you, sir. I got two things to say here.
I hope it's about the elections.
No, about the election, not really.
Well, there's the topic. We need to talk about that.
Well, all is about elections. You know, everything what they will say is about election, and election day, even though it's gone.
Yeah, go ahead.
The message of the president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana when he's swearing, he said that he will eradicate or eliminate poverty from our nation.
Yes.
However, appointing ministers, I don't know if that would be including a particular ministry or there would be a special ministry would be created to solve this, I don't want to say pandemic or this disease in our nation, eradicating and eliminating poverty in our nation. I know that I've heard that they still have more decisions to make, etc. But I would wanted to see that really that drive or that vision that you have to really get that on the ground moving, kicking. Right? That's one. Two, I know you said that this is an election, whatever, right? But there is something that's happening in our nation, and it's happening at a rapid pace. I don't know if it's the Ministry of Human Services, which I salute the Minister of the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, who have done a fantastic work for the past 5 years. And I do know that we're going to see better for her in the 5 years. But something is happening in our nation. This suicide issue, murder suicide, and it's happening. I don't know if you know about it, but sometimes you heard and sometimes you don't heard. I would like to see some kind of task force or some kind of institution or some kind of I even find some way, but something should be set up.
The president's inauguration speech did speak of that as well.
Oh, he speak of that.
Yeah, he spoke about it. Yeah.
But I would have wanted to see that some kind of something created in the 10 administrative regions to solve this issue of murder, suicide, and things like that. Right? Our country is a small country, and one death is too much for our nation. Too many people dying, murder, suicide, murder. They're getting killed down they're getting knocked down on the road. There's another story by itself, but we need something to be done for our people at this level and at this time in our nation.
All right, thanks for coming through.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the first thing that he raised is something I'm very, very interested in.
What's that?
The poverty whatever thing. And
as an economist, you'll be a good
I'm
guy.
very, very, very interested in that.
The PPP have named the 36 parliamentarians.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
In fact, I think that's 40 on the list. 40 people. and I'm gonna explain to you how and explain
That's
to the
four
viewers.
technocrats.
Yeah, explain to the viewers how you get it
Kissoon,
extra. No.
Oh, good.
Good evening. You're on the program.
Good evening.
Please turn on your TV.
Yes, I call it concerning the last election.
Yeah.
I look at the PPP cabinet. I was expecting plenty more changes because this is old wine in new bottle. It would not change some of the thinking and the work of the ministers then. I'm telling you, the PPP had a great opportunity to bring the new faces to this modern Guyana. Some of these ministers are old wine. They need to go, comrade. They are not look where they lose. The PPP have lose 15, 20, 30 votes in pocket of strong areas. They have not right to lose any.
There got two ways. There are two ways of looking at it. But continue, make your point. And then.
Yeah, you see, I work in the election, and I've been working elections since 1989 here as a young man. We have been losing pocket of votes. We find that in the AFC up no time. And we have not been finding a resolution to solve that problem. The problem lies at the bottom of the government. Local government has failed the PPP, and they must fix it from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
The disgruntledness, you was amazed to see the quality of leadership they have given people in this place. You know that, and that's what some of the people really turned their back on in this last election. I worked, comrade, and I was chased out of PPR who I know a strong PPP. You know that? We have no right to lose 10 and 15 votes in Fort Moronton, Williamsburg, and Hampshire area. No way those people. I work and I know I went to these people myself. Right? The local leadership have a lot to play in government.
Right.
It takes out a lot of burden on central government. You tell me a minister can come to pick up garbage? A minister can come to clean bang wrong?
Just a minute. Can I say something to you?
Yes, sir.
Informative. When we started this program 2 years ago, and we started the call-in was on Fridays. Do you know, from the first call-in to the next year, to the second year when this program was complaints about the local regional people? You'd be surprised
Freddie,
to see, week after week, people was complaining about the NDCs. If you play back those programs, you'll see. You're absolutely right.
They got to stop this PPP, got to stop this loyalty and look for credibility. That is what they have to stop it. If they want a success in the future, they have a great opportunity to wipe out all political parties in 2030. They have an opportunity. Fix local government, forget our party as at 20-something years to satisfy our loyalty members. Look for credibility. Look at people who have been successful in life. Give them the opportunity to function and build a structure. I have witnessed, I have seen garbage not collecting for 4 and 5 days in this place. I was former mayor of this town, and I could tell you, I was mayor for the PPP under PNC government, and we did wonders without
That's
no money. Rosal.
Okay, you say Hampshire.
We have bad leadership. The PPP got to wake up, comrade.
Okay. All right.
They must wake up.
Thanks for coming through.
Thank you, Freddie.
Yeah, buddy. Freddie, you remember after one of our programs, we were outside and I was talking to you about that when we were discussing the PPP continued dominance for 2030. And I was saying that that is one of the complaints I got. And when that forum exists, I know the president and the VP and so got settled down and so on. But when that forum exists, I would share my views on unafraid. I encounter people, and when you talk to people in the small villages, Martin Luther King Jr. used to call it the hamlets. When you talk to people in the hamlet, you find that some of them got serious issues with their PPP representative in their village. These people are complaining that some of them, are behaving in a bullyish way. The vice president, I will tell him straight up when I see him with some more details that I can't mention here, that some of these people got to be reined in. You got to call them in, and you got to be nice to people. You got to serve the people. If you can't serve the people, move them. Even if them is some long-standing PPP activist, a long-standing activist son, and you think you owe them something or whatever, when you start moving people, the others gonna catch themselves. And that has been a complaint that I received as I was moving around. And I am not a PPP stalwart, right? So talking about the election and going towards 2030, that is something that has got to be addressed and addressed substantially. Otherwise, the PPP could find itself in a little tangle.
I think one of the attempts that should be made about the NDCs is payment. You can't have a man with 4 children. He's a teacher. His wife is a teacher. You can't ask him to devote so much time to the NDCs, and he's receiving a stipend a month.
Yeah,
I mean,
10,000, I think.
Yeah, outside parliamentarians have their own secretariat.
Some of the local government people even get $5,000.
I mean, if what you're telling me, local government, we got 5,000, that has to come to an end.
Good evening, you're onto the program.
Yes, good night, United. Calling back. I live in Better Hope, and the rubbish hasn't picked up a week, and it's going into another week. When you truck with the drivers, they said the NDC chairman send the tractor somewhere else. So the man is right. The local government arm of this PPP is messing up the PPP because many people are dissatisfied with the NDC and some RDCs in this country. And it's foolishness, and nobody's looking into this. Secondly, the PPP has said nothing about private sector and private sector wages. I'm a security. I'm working with the same money since 2022, and everybody is getting raised and we ain't getting. Thirdly, when it comes to the PPP list, one problem I have there is the junior agriculture minister. This is a man who was accused of a crime, who the young girl died, and we have not.
Sir, don't specifically name people and the issue.
I'm calling him. I said junior agriculture minister.
Well, there is only one. It's like calling a name.
So we got to disassociate ourselves from that remark. And
we have to put people in power with credibility. It is not happening in the NDC, and it's not happening here. Have a good night.
Okay.
As a disclaimer, on behalf of Daybreak News, myself and Leonard Craig, we'd like to disassociate ourselves from that remark made about the junior minister of agriculture. We apologize to him.
Yeah, certainly. Because certainly I don't have any evidence of any such factor.
We don't accept what was said about him.
Yeah.
And we apologize.
Right. So, yeah, that is something that, as I mentioned, we substantially have to be dealt with. And and that gotta be dealt with. Yeah. NDC and RDC office holders should, yeah. Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening, the Freddie Kissoon show.
Yes, you're onto the show.
Okay, yeah, well, okay, I think that the last 2 or 3 callers, included yourself, has made a very good point with the NDCs. The PPP need to look into that from the bottom, because that is what's going to mess up the party if they don't do that in this term. Because it's happening in our region. It's happening in our region, and they need to look into that. They need to be there to help everyone, and there is this thing going around. You might hear about it with friends and family. They need to cut that out. You know, as you said, you don't matter how long you're in the party, how long you is there supporting them, but if things is going wrong, you got to get them out of there, or else those persons are going to make the PPP drop. Certain area, votes that the PPP lose, that shouldn't have happened. That shouldn't have happened. Believe me. So I think that is one thing. If anybody is listening from the PPP side, they need to do that and work on that for the 5 years. Thank you. That's my answer.
Right. Thank you for coming through.
Take care.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
If I could revisit that issue the earlier caller mentioned about changing the ministers. He hasn't advanced what reason, but he used the word credibility. But the thing is this. My point is this. You got to look at it the other way too. The electorate overwhelmingly chose the PPP to run the government for another 5 years. In one way, they're signaling to the PPP, we like what you are doing, we like the trajectory, and the PPP, in obedience to that somewhat, is saying, look, this is the team that brought us up to this point, which imbued confidence in the people, so why dismantle this team? I mean, that is a valid way of looking at the thing. Outside of that, which me and you may not have, if internally lots of rumors just be going around and people in the street seem to think they know a lot of things, but you don't have evidence. But if you had ministers that were rotten or what the case might be, and I mentioned that again today in my column, unless somebody was extremely incompetent or a person was badly behaved, you would expect, to have some continuity, and that the same team that brought you this success takes you over into the next term. That would be my argument with respect to that.
Well, there could be a counter argument to that, not in a holistic way. A team that is successful, and the analogy could go over to sports. You could have a team that is very successful, especially a team that has 11 players like cricket, and they could win 2-3 series, but you have a weak guy.
Yeah,
you could have a weak guy, and therefore the team wins a series, and in the next series they change the wicketkeeper or they change the spin bowler. The analogy is that team does not exclude the existence of someone who should be investigated or looked at.
Oh, understood. Right.
But the cause take priority, but when we got cut off at the point where we were talking about how Mark and the lawyer Mark Francis told me his general secretary is a guy who worked with the U.S. government. He's a lawyer. And that caller has a good point. There is no covenant between Anug and WIN if there is no Anug.
No, well, it is the agreement that says there is no Anug. The very agreement that says how many seats. So
the man may have a point.
The man may have a point, and
there's no Anug, so WIN has to choose its.
No, there is also a counter argument to that inside of that argument, which means a judge would have to determine that.
Yeah, I want to see when the case goes.
Good evening. You're onto the program.
Hi, good night. One of the things with NDC is that, let's say we have an old community, let's say on the East Bank. I can talk about East Bank because we are on the East Bank. Let's say, or Southern Farm. You got an NDC there with a particular group of people who works their numbers thing. Now, when these other schemes open, like the new horse selling scheme, the new farm scheme, now, is the NDC growing in terms of employers? Are they growing in terms of equipment?
Employees,
no. No. If they're not growing simultaneously with the community, how do we expect them to function effectively? It can't.
Yeah, it is a
so
good
we
point.
can sit on here and blame and blame and blame.
Yeah.
But the old NDC them would have a 2 tractor to pick up the thing and probably the work thing. When you get these thousands of people now added to that with the same 2 tractor, you gotta get problem.
Yeah.
So we can't look at it just like the people are doing nothing. We don't. It's a stressful.
No,
that's a good point. Yeah, if you're serving 5,000 people in an area of 1,000 square miles.
Yeah.
If you're serving 15,000 people in an area of 25,000 square miles, you have to have more resources.
Yes, you have to look at this thing in a
that's
different
a good point.
dimension also.
Yeah. Right.
And you need to pay these councillors more, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Some of the NDCs also, the number of seats got to grow as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thanks. That's my contribution.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. It's a good contribution.
Yeah. That's very excellent, and he is right. That can cause degradation of service. But I know that the president and vice president had announced that every NDC allocation would be increased. They used to have $1 million or something like that. Now they're getting 30 million from central government to every NDC. So, but this that this gentleman just mentioned is very important. We got to look back at each local government constituency and see how they have grown and determine whether you're going to add more seats and make the NDC larger. That's an excellent point. But Freddie, I was going a little beyond that. I wasn't speaking about the service specifically. Hi, good evening.
Yes, good evening. I'm calling from Pleasant. And somebody was talking about the NDC. We have to pay garbage. We pay rate and tax. No drain cleaning. It's stagnant. When the rubbish bin come, you have to pay $2,000 to 2 barrel. If it's 1 barrel, it's $1,500. And they have style too. This is not fair for poor people. I'm a senior citizen. And I have to pay these things. And nothing has been done. Even Mr. Norton never walked down in Pleasant, even to assess what's going on. I mean, I don't have anything against Mr. Norton. But what I'm saying from our position, he never walked to check the road, the garbage, the trench, or nothing.
He never walk, or you never see him walk?
He never walk. I'm a Pleasantian, born Pleasant. Never walk. Never.
All right, you don't worry with Craig. Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Anyhow, I just want to enlighten the NDC need very much to improve. Very, very much.
All right. Thanks for coming through.
But Pleasance is not NDC. Pleasance is City Council.
No, Presence Industry NDC.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it is NDC.
City Council and that
when you go to pay rate and tax there, you have to wait long time. Seniors have to sit and wait. This body is not there, the body is not there, they ain't come yet, whatever.
Anyway.
And they're very crude and rude to big people. Anyhow, you have a night.
Okay, right, thanks for coming through. Thanks. Yeah. That's a good contribution you made.
And now that she has said that, there's another thing that has to be looked at. The NDC people have got to be trained to deliver service to people. Right? And she's right. I've been to NDC offices for various businesses, and the person who got write up something is not there. The person who got searched for something, and you're waiting, you go away and you come back 3 days, and that kind of thing. Overseer, and so on. Hi, good evening.
Good evening to you, Leonard.
Hi, brother.
I expect you to be in Parliament, man. Secondly, I'd like to make a proposal to GCOM. I think they should change the constitution. There are 65 seats in the Parliament, and every party should put up the 65 member who will go to Parliament. I will take you a bet here tonight. Most of these ministers wouldn't get 2 votes. Most of them wouldn't get 2 votes. Some of them would get knocked out completely. So they should change the constitution and every party put up the 65 member. And then you would see what would happen. And you gotta, if they elect them, you gotta blame the people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because there's a lot of corrupt one just gone back. There's just a change. It's just a change. I'm talking about the NDC. In the nose of the NDC in Suzaik, look the kind of corruption that's happening there. Where that young girl in just neighboring to the NDC, that young girl gets raped. That young Amerindian girl. Right? They need to look at these things and need to look at this thing. If you go out in Suzaik at the junction there now, the amount of drugs that circulate there, the police at Timiri pay no heed. No heed. Right? They need to do something about this thing.
All right.
All right, thank you, Leno.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Joe. Yeah.
I would like to see when he come on the program, we'd ask him what's this agreement. I know the agreement up now, Anug and WIN signs 2 seats will go to Anug, but I like to see how it worked out when there wasn't a WIN plus Anug entity.
Right. So Mark had said on this program, I think we had him, Jonathan, and this
GCC.
other guy.
Yeah.
And he had said that the agreement is secret. And I'm saying to him, why have a secret agreement when the agreement is literally a contract with the people to say, hey, based on this agreement, you can trust us. Good evening, you're on to the program.
Hi, the both of you. I just want to ask something. What is everlasting on earth?
Why what?
What is everlasting on earth?
What that got to do?
What is everlasting on earth? You got a point to make. Go right ahead and make the point.
No, I just
before Freddie blow a fuse.
No, he can't. If he blow fuse, they want to blow 20 fuses.
You know how many people want to get you to the program, Saul?
Go ahead now, make the point.
Guy,
what is everlasting on earth?
He just sit down in his home.
Hey, good evening.
I wanted to say something.
Turn on your TV. Turn on your TV.
Hello?
Turn on your TV.
You know how many people want to get you to the program, Saul?
So, turn on your TV.
Yeah, turn now.
Good,
Hello?
good. Go right ahead.
I want to make 2 points about the NDC. Hello?
So, we're hearing the TV in the background.
Okay. Okay now?
No.
We're still hearing you. We're still hearing you.
We are here.
Yeah.
Can you please?
We are hearing the previous caller and us. We're not hearing you.
Okay. You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, concerning NDC them. I need the government to look into them because some of the NDC, the vice chairman and chairman them, like they're more bigger than the president. I work with some of them. They're more bigger than the president and the president. Them in the office sit down, just passing order and not go see nothing on the ground. That is one, they have to go out on the ground and see what's going on. Okay? That is one point. Concerning the housing now, the housing have to develop something better than what they're doing in the past. They're giving you a land in a big jungle where there is no road to access your land. When you go to access it now, you cannot access it properly, and they're charging you a lot of money for them. Middle income, low income, and high income, and you cannot access your land. So the government needs to look into that as early as possible. When they're giving you a land, give you something properly that you could start the business. You don't have no infrastructure in the land, them. No gutter, no drainage, no lightning, no water. No
I can't believe that's still happening. I know
I
that.
could tell you that. I could carry inferring over my land in the Nomprel. They don't have no drainage.
That was
no
a complaint made 5-10 years ago, man.
No, I went there the other day. I could carry inferring tomorrow if you want.
Sir, I'm aware that some of that is still happening, but running up to the election, like about two months or so before, the vice president did address it, and I think the inauguration speech of the president, I think they are aware that that is a little shortcoming, and I can say that I happen to know that correction is on the way.
Okay, good.
I hope that it fixes this new government.
I am confident. I am confident that it's on the cards to be fixed.
Because you're gonna send TV, give away free house lot, and you cannot even use your house lot that they give you. You cannot access to it.
I remember the VP did say that. Look,
that has to be rectified.
Yeah, right. Because what I could tell you also is that in a lot of those areas, the contract was given to create the roads and drains and so on. But the question of capacity and so on came in. Like the contractor got 2 contracts. One to clear this road and one to ting another road somewhere, and they don't have enough equipment to do 2 at the same time, and one gets delayed and so on. But I happen to know that in this new term, that it is on the cards. Yes, it is on the cards to be fixed.
Because everybody complain about that. That's why they lose out the vote and certain place, because it's the same thing what they're doing. People getting vexed with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy go and talk that he will do better. People vote for him in the Muhammad.
Right.
So people want betterment. People want betterment. They look for betterment. They want betterment. They try.
Yeah, I can tell you that this term, the housing drive will be on steroids.
I hope so, sir.
Yeah. I am confident. If my confidence change, I'll come back and be honest to people.
Okay, I'll call you back. Thank you.
Bye.
That's my.
Good evening. You're onto the program.
Good evening. When you talk about the NDCs, I have personal experience in the sense that at one time, I think it's 2015, I was offered a Region 3 a overseer job. Well, I say it's a nice job. I got power. You know what my money was when the end of the month? $5,000 anytime I show up. I could not work for that. I didn't understand that that's what the NDC is getting.
Right.
Yes, when we talk about them not coming, I could understand what's going on.
Yes.
But you cannot expect people to work for that money.
No, you can't expect people to work that money, and it should stop as early as yesterday.
Yes, and so I had powers of overseers, but my salary didn't make no sense. When we finished and everybody's gonna buy a beer, I couldn't go because I can't pay with nothing with that. So my money didn't make sense. Secondly, again, this thing with ANOG, the agreement cannot be secret. I know that
exactly.
I know them have good lawyers, and I think Mr. Mark France run through that thing and didn't see it properly. But let's see what happens. Have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Before anyone comes on, I think he's going to take it to court. I think Mark France is going to take it to court.
Well, they have to, because we have to see these things tested in court, because more parties in the future would be tempted to create agreements, and they will people are openly flouting the agreements.
But the law is a very technical thing. I would hope there was agreement signed between WIN and ANOG. If one party called WIN had a leader of the list, and that leader of the list was allowed to choose the candidates, to my mind, that would override ANOG WIN, right? Because there's ANOG. I hope France knows what he did. It doesn't appear to me that he knows what he did. And
that is why from the beginning I was asking that this thing should be on any party, any 2 parties, unless, and that is why you got to admire PPPC. PPP Civic. There is still the People's Progressive Party, and there is the PPPC.
The Prime Minister.
And when you come, if there is no such thing as a member of the Civic. You have to be interested in a PPP driven political way of doing things. And then you come on, you're not interested in full membership and full participation in members' benefits, but you act as part of the political family, and you are there, you're civic who supports the PPP. which is different. It therefore means that the core PPP remains the leadership, and you come on board as a supporter. Hi, good evening. Good evening. You're onto the program.
Hello.
Yeah, you're onto the program.
All right, I have a suggestion to make.
Go right ahead.
So, Mr. Craig, we have 65 seats in the parliament,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess that would have been since maybe in the 70s or 80s, but still that now we have more voters on the list. We have more voters on the list. What's the possibility of having more seats available in the parliament?
Yeah.
That's it, sir.
Yeah. That's also a possibility, Freddie, as the population grows.
It's now stands at over 800,000.
Right. We probably need another 2 seats because our population has grown and things like that. Who knows? Yeah, that is something worth discussion. But people gotta understand, like the gentleman said earlier, he get proposal for GCOMs. They must change the right. GCOM can't do that. It is a parliament, and they must have 2/3 of the members of the National Assembly voting to change any measure in the constitution, right? As much as we see a depleted PNC, we are actually in a better position for constitutional reform with a depleted PNC than we would have been in a PNC in full strength. And I'm going to explain that just now after this caller. Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Freddie Kissoon and Leonard Craig. Everybody talked about Mark France. I listen to Mr. Kissoon talking about Mark France. He talking about this the PNC people. You know what happened in this life? People get paid according to their knowledge. If Mark France make himself a fool, he get paid like that's a fool. You can't everything done already. You can't do what is done. You can't. But while I be talking about, let me talk about the rubbish. I can't explain myself with this garbage. The garbage all over the world is problem with the garbage. I don't know if Guyana we going to make incinerator for burn these garbage or for do how we going to get rid of all these garbage and all these things coming into this country every day. We got thousands and thousands of containers coming in. How we can get rid of these garbage? That's my point.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for coming, sure. What was the point I was about to make? The constitution reform thing and the APNU. APNU's quota plus the PPP quota will give you
a 2/3.
A 2/3.
Yeah.
And APNU, if they can find reasonable things that they want to change in the constitution, and they know of anything reasonable the PPP wants to change, they could say, look, we got our list of 10 things we want to change. You got your list of 10 things you want to change. Let's bargain. And I believe the PNC may not have been willing to do that at full strength, at 32 seats. They might not be willing to do that. But at 12 seats, they may be more willing, given that WIN seemed to start off on taking a stiff-neck approach to politics. That is what I would call it. They're starting off with a stiff-necked approach. In that, they just released some statement saying the GCOM commissioners must resign. No acknowledgement that the PNC still has 40% of the opposition. calling the people and say, man, let's talk. This is the era where the way how the votes were distributed is clearly showing that people, the voters, want people to talk.
Well, I think they need. Yeah, you're right. We need to move away from the big stick of the hegemonic thing. But once they do that, 40-60, it has to be divided into 40-60. So the PNC has to say, the PNC has to concede that WIN.
But if I am the PNC, I'm not conceding if you just release a statement and say resign. Because they can't move the commissioners.
No, but the commissioners also the WIN people could also say, all right, look, let's sit down and talk. They shouldn't, the PNC shouldn't just dismiss them.
That is what I'm saying. You now become the opposition leader. And if you don't invite me to talks, then I'm not inviting you.
Yeah, but that goes to show the inexperience we're dealing with.
Yeah.
In politics, it also goes to show.
It's not just inexperience, Freddie. It's beyond inexperience.
It could be form. It could be the bullying mentality.
Yeah.
Because look what they did. Look what they did to Mark Vance.
Just plain decency, Freddie.
I think that party's going to disintegrate. No, we don't take private number.
Private, yeah.
If you're listening to us, we do not accept private number because that the police cannot trace the private number. Although I think it's still traceable if if you say something. They could take your phone.
No, they could go directly to the phone company and find out which number call and so on.
Right, but
we still not taking private.
Because you allow them to abuse people. Right, whereas if they start, we just give the number to the police. Yeah, how we got caught. Well, the phones take priority, but the WIN thing with Anug. Anyway.
Good evening. You're on to the program.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. What I want to say, right? Well, the election finish and thing. If now we could start to get some some doctors and some people from GRA and so forth talk about when you bring in a vehicle, how much it could cost you and them kind of thing. You know, because plenty people want to bring in things. Me myself got three children. Me want to buy a vehicle, but me would like to know the amount of CC and what is like the duty and thing. So like people like that, you know, could be nice for the program and doctors and so forth talk about the kind of COVID.
We will try. We've been trying the past 3 years. I could tell you, so I was here from day one. And I called the commissioner of police, I called the minister.
Here what's happened. This program is a creature of its own. I don't want to use the term downfall, but the program took on a political character. And so public servants, like as you mentioned, GRA and so on, will be hesitant to come on the program because they feel that you are political people and you're looking to take political sides. But I can assure you we understand that, and I can assure any public servant, if we bring them on the program, we're not going to get into politics with them. We have brought many people on this program, and we ask them beforehand, would you be comfortable with this line of questioning? And they say, no, and we respect that. So public servants can come on this program, but because of the trajectory of the program, people sometimes are hesitant. But I hear you, and
but you can some of that information you want. You could probably get it on the GRA website.
Yeah, and there's a toll free. There's not toll free. There's a hotline. GRA got a hotline number for all its services.
You could find out how much duty you got to pay for what CC. Yeah, you could go on there.
And the next thing, right? Like many times you just gotta get something, right? And it should not take a little half an hour. You know, you could call in and actually get them something and thing, you know. But it is be like you doesn't get to ask the people nothing.
Yeah, because it's pre-recorded. It's not live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whenever we have live program again in the future, we'll probably have a little screen here and see people's comments and then try to ask questions based on the comments as they're coming up. But our programs are recorded sometimes 2 hours ahead of time and so on.
Okay. But you used to be in Trinidad.
Who? Me?
You.
Yeah. Why?
You know, because I noticed you know plenty thing about Trinidad.
Oh.
All right, so
I studied in Trinidad for 2 years.
Okay. Let's take this out.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Time going. Fine.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Freddie. And good evening, the next person, Mr. Freddie. I don't remember.
Yeah. Go right ahead.
Good night, both of you. My contribution is that they hope that the government pay attention to police. This is the big things in our country. Remember, if you don't have a good force, you can never have a good country. I'm not saying all the police, but there's a lot of things that are going on with police. A lot of them, as much as they have camera on their body, they still do what they have to do wrong. They don't care. I don't think much of the police them respect the government or anybody. Believe what I'm telling you. Because someone take out the cameras and everything, and nobody don't ask them no question. Because it didn't make sense. You put on the camera on them, or why don't take out the camera? And this is not things what I feel like that. This is things that I see with my own eyes. These people that get on a camera still collecting money. So which means the camera is not, and I was back off a vehicle and see one of the by the 62 police station in Bobby's. And a Maori Forerunner pass at the 5,000 and get police and get on the camera. And you can't get the bigger boss. So these kind of things then, I hope the government can pay attention to these kind of things then. That's very, very important for our country. I know that you can't stop corruption. Corruption comes from a human. Because if you choose to do wrong things, you choose to do wrong things. Because government will tell you to do nothing wrong. Government tell you to do, you left last day if you do the right thing. And they choose to, and they should have big penalty for those things then. And even penalty, the person that gives the advice, penalty them heavy. But what we need to do, for me, that's my opinion. Civilians, the government should think about it and give civilians sniping, or whenever you catch a policeman red-handed, you video him or you record him, take bribes, and you charge the policeman, whoever you charge, take it and give it to the civilian. Because nothing will stop the nonsense, because civilians is supposed to get money from. But people do wrong things. Because we cannot have a good country if we don't have a good police force.
True.
We're not saying all police bad. We're not saying all bad. But you see which nation doing wrong things. So much wrong things going on, especially in Skellen. Do you know what the murder happened in Skellen yesterday?
No.
Where they chop out your foot, chop out your hand, chop your neck and kill shit.
Yes, it was in the papers, yeah.
Yes. Well, let me tell you, I know the guy. The guy goes to live not far from me. He was a very, very good person. And they used to live nice, but because of drugs. And I get so passionate when I hear that thing happen. I say you should take the quarters and go kill the people who sell drugs. You should kill them. Because they're only messing up people, the policeman, enough for them to garbage. You come down to Skellen and see amount of young youths who smoking these things and messing up people.
All right.
And nobody knew nothing. Nobody knew nothing. Police knew nothing. Nobody knew nothing.
All right. Thanks for coming through. We coming to end the time, so let's give all the people.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Good evening. You're on to the program.
Good evening. Whether it's an experience or not, the Carter formula which we follow when we establish the GCOM commissioners says that the opposition leader picks the three, not party 60, not 60, 80. Opposition leader picked. Soon as the election called and they knew the results, the commissioners should have resigned. After that, they could have talked with the guy. That is
no. Wait a minute. I didn't know that, Saul. If it says that, then the WIN people will be in a strong position.
Yeah, but it also says
that everybody could look at the card formula and read it. Then, if anything, they could talk with him and see if he could take one or two of them back or whatever. But they rule any part of the world. Your people out, new opposition leader, you have to resign.
But listen. I believe he should talk with them, but I don't believe they should say constitutionally we can't be removed. No, I mean if you're right, and it says the opposition leader chooses the three GCOM commissioners, that could be tested in court.
Yeah, it could be tested in court, but it would be failed. The point is, resign and talk to the guy. He may take you back. Every position, apart from there during election time, was constitutionally till you're dead.
But do you know...
But when the leader change, it means that the person has to be removed. If they're still there, who are you picking?
Yeah, but the point is, if the Constitution empowers him to pick 3 GCOM commissioners, you cannot say to him, well, constitutionally we cannot be removed. But Vincent Alexander refused to resign when the leader of the opposition asked him to resign, Robert Corbyn. He did not resign and he cited the Constitution. But I like the point you made. That
please remember that. I can't remember this guy name. He used to be on your show a piece of time. He's a constitutional lawyer. And he knew the law. Corbyn would not have challenged Vincent. It would have looked terrible. The point is, follow the law, then talk to the guy. He may be inexperienced, as everybody says, but he has a right as the opposition leader. And let's take a comment up here.
Yes, he has a right as the opposition leader. You can't take that away from him. Yeah. I
got strong views about it, but
no, but the law. If the law says that, then the Constitution empowers the opposition leader.
Whenever there is a vacancy, the Constitution empowers him when there is a vacancy.
If the Constitution doesn't say that.
The Constitution doesn't say if you get a new opposition leader, new commissioners.
No, but we don't take private number. No, but the Constitution says the opposition leader names 3 commissioners. It says that.
Name 3 commissioners.
Nominate 3
commissioners. Appears. Anyway.
No, the Constitution.
It got other words.
The Constitution, no.
You got to read it, Freddie. It got other words.
No, I haven't read it, so I can't argue.
It got other words associated with it. That doesn't say blanket thing. But the point I'm making.
Okay.
They haven't been appointed. The opposition leader only now have that right when a vacancy exists.
Well, I don't know if that is
Secondly, just like the chairwoman, if the chairwoman doesn't resign, the new opposition leader has no power to appoint the 6 names, to give the 6 names to the president, unless there is a vacancy.
Well, I don't know the law, so I'm not going to give my
vote. But what I'm saying to you...
time.
Good evening.
Hello?
Good evening. Yeah.
Hello?
But what I'm saying to you, at the point you were making, decency suggests that it's a new party altogether. It's not just a new opposition leader from the same party. It's a new party altogether. The GCOM commissioners should consider resigning, but at the same time, I don't like just release a statement, say, yeah, I'll resign.
Well, I know.
If you understand.
You said that before, and that they should not have done that. But I think it cannot be acceptable at the national level that 3 persons that were, well, Mr. Alexander was appointed 20-something years ago, in those circumstances, we have gone beyond that. You have a new opposition leader, and that has to be his constitutional right to make appointments to GCOM. Has to be.
I don't agree. Don't agree because you have to say the same thing about the chairwoman. it's the person who gave the 6 names or who agreed with the president.
Well, that's another thing. The chairperson was nominated by
Granger.
So it means, yeah.
So you are saying now because Azzuddin Mohammed come in, the chairwoman got to give him the freedom to name his 6 to the president.
Well, if he's asking
the 2 of them got to be the same.
If he's yes. If he's asking for the 3 to be changed, the chairwoman, because
it's the same principle.
Opposition leader,
is the person who. So that is what I'm saying.
She may very well do that.
He only had such powers if a vacancy exists.
But you saying the Constitution says
and to create the vacancy, he got to talk with the people so that they could resign. He can't sit down on the top of a mountain and holler, "Yeah, resign down there." That's the point I'm making.
I am not. I am not sure about what the Constitution says.
But you are talking about a transactional thing. Transactionally, they should give him that right to nominate the people.
Yeah, but you're right. He should also nominate the chairman.
Exactly. Transactionally, perhaps that is so, but the Constitution don't support it. This is the last call. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for being the last call. In relation to the opposition members representing the interests of the opposition in GCOM, rightfully they should resign because they're no longer representing the interests of the persons who would have nominated them. But what we have to distinguish here is the Ghana Elections Commission is a constitutional agency. It's separate and apart from the state of Guyana, so to speak. So these persons who are there, the laws may not have contemplated the fact that we may have another party emerging as an opposition. Maybe we have thought, and the framers may have thought that the PNC would always be in opposition and the PPP would always be the government, as the way the laws, the way the laws are framed. So the chairwoman, for example, is not a position that could be easily removed, but indeed the laws ought to have contemplated that the interests of the members representing there, if it no longer avails, they should resign. They cannot be allowed to occupy these positions because in whose interests are they now acting? They would no longer be acting, certainly not in the interest of the opposition leader. And I'm not here arguing for WIN. I'm arguing here for
I understand. So
the same argument we're making.
We're taking the same position.
The same position.
If the Constitution empowers the opposition leader, then that has to be respected. Democracy is not a convenient thing. It has to be all over the
But you have to recognize, though, that at the point I am making, that to do that is a transactional thing. The Constitution doesn't empower them to do that.
Well, like I said, it is because the framers at the time would have probably contemplated that the PPP would be in the power and the opposition would remain the PNC, and those decisions would always occupy between those two parties and not have contemplated the emergence of another third or fourth force.
Actually, the truth is the Carter formula was intended for 92 and probably 97
and we
only.
Just kept it.
And we just kept it
do you know most people outside of Guyana do not accept, most lawyers, most politicians in government do not accept that the country got a election council and it consists of politicians on it. I mean, for example, Sis Gonraj is a member of the PPP Central Committee. Good. The guy Chotman is a WPA. Most people find that. I think most people in the world don't know that Guyana's election council consists of politicians.
Well, I certainly agree with you, and that is because of the way it was presented. But I have 3 recommendations that I would like for you guys to consider shortly. One is that when the amendment of the 1980 Constitution was done by LFS Barnum, what he had done is that essentially he had fused the state of Guyana that is the presidency with the executive arm of government. So essentially he had fused the executive government, he had fused the government with the state of Guyana. And that is what caused all these issues that eventually we are now experiencing, because when we say constitutional reform, what exactly are we saying? We're just presenting a phrase but not adding weight to it. So let me add 3 things for you guys to consider, which I believe any party who answers these 3 things will have a very good opportunity in the next election. 1, we can no longer vote for an executive president. Any country where the presidency becomes politicized, the state of that country will become political, as evidenced in Guyana. Every state apparatus in this country is hamstrung from taking objective decisions because they have become essentially politicized, because the chief state person is a politically elected individual. It doesn't matter who occupies that position, PPP, PNC, AFC, it doesn't matter who it is. What matters is that once that person is elected from a political process, their lens will be, they will see everything from the perspective of political, and therefore they're politically compromised. The second thing that I would recommend is that the Attorney General, whoever occupies that position, can no longer be a member of the cabinet, because the Attorney General is a chief legal state advisor, or rather the chief legal advisor to the state of Guyana. And if that person
let me stop you there. There's an error in what you're saying. The Attorney General is a minister, and the legal person that you're talking about that does prosecutorial thing is the DPP.
Hold on, Mr. Craig. I have thought this through very, very carefully.
Okay.
The Attorney General has 2 positions. The person, it doesn't matter who that is. I don't want to call name to make it an individual.
Yeah.
But the person has 2 positions. The person is Minister of Legal Affairs, that is a minister in the cabinet of government. And the person also shares a position as Attorney General, that is to say the chief legal advisor to the state of Guyana, sir. So that is one person sharing both positions. It was previously separated.
Could you get on quickly to the third? The operator say we'll be 2 minutes over time.
All right. The third position is that we need to have constituent representation in the National Assembly.
Okay, talk about the first past the post system. Okay.
Yes, where the leaders are constituently elected, where we have 2 elections, national and regional.
The post system. Look, our operators in my ears all the time. Thanks for coming through. We got to go. We're over.
All right, Mr. Kissoon, no problem.
Thanks. Our apologies to our operators. We are 2 minutes over time. This concludes our Monday call-in program. I'm Frederick Kissoon and Leonard Craig. We will have a guest on Wednesday. We will have a guest on Friday. Our guest format continues. Thanks for being with us. Until we see you on Wednesday, take care of yourself. Catch you later. Bye-bye.